Hey guys, what's up? It's Sachika. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a great day and let's get into it. So this video is going to be about writing your college essays. I am an art student, so I'm going to be speaking from the perspective of one, but I do have tips and tricks for normal essays as well, because I did have to write my UCAS personal statement, which everyone who's applying to the UK has to write. Of course, it'll change from person to person depending on what college you write to. I also did have to write the Common App essay for one of my colleges. I think it was Micah. I'm not too sure now though. And also I wrote a bunch of like college specific essays. Like technically my UCAS personal statement was just meant for UAL because that's the only college I applied to in the UK. But in the US, I did apply to 5 different colleges, and they all had their own requirement of an artist statement, as well as Micah had the Common App essay and Parsons had the Parsons Challenge essay. So I actually had to look back on all my essays because my last application went out in Jan. So I actually had to look back on all of my essays to figure out what it is that I actually wrote to make this video. I did make a list of things that I think you guys should follow. And if you see me looking down, I'm looking down at my iPad just to see what the list contains. And I hope this helps you guys. By the way, if you like this video, if you want more videos like this, subscribe, comment, whatever. Comments push, comment and like. Those push out the video to other people who might need it. But subscribe for more videos like this. I do college tips and tricks and application processes and A-level advice videos as well. I'm also an art student, so I do videos on that as well, like my college life and stuff. I just started college, so yeah, let's start. So I'm gonna start with some general notes about all essays that you guys will need to write. Well, let me start with a disclaimer. I'm not going to be reading out my essays in this video because one, that makes it really easy for people to copy it, and I want anyone who watches this to be original and write your own essays. Don't pay people to do it, guys, and just write it yourself. It'll take you I know it'll take a while, but trust me, it'll be so worth it when you do get into the college that you want to get into. I will not be reading my own essays. If I do, again, like I said, it'll be very easy for someone to copy it or structure their essay similar to mine, and I don't want that for anybody. Okay, so another thing, you will need to write multiple essays no matter where you're applying. Except the UK, I think the UK is just that one UCAS personal statement. But if you're applying to the US in any capacity, you will have to write multiple essays. Like I wrote the Common App essay, the personal statement for UAL, that's my UCAS essay basically, and individual college statements along with the Parsons Challenge essay. It's very different for any other kind of student, like a business or a science or a humanities student, simply because we do our portfolio and then we write essays to support our portfolio. They only have the essays. So like I have a friend who applied to like 15 colleges last year, and he wrote approximately 3 to 4 essays per college, which was insane to me. But at the same time, he couldn't imagine ever working on a portfolio for like a full year before applying, and so I guess it was kind of a trade, I guess. Oh yeah, for any business college or whatever student, they will, for whatever the multiple essays that you need to write, you will be provided with prompts from your university. If you're applying through Common App or just Common App, if you're applying through Common App, there will be different prompts and sections for you to fill out your essays, and only then, once you fill it out, will you be able to submit your application. Oh yeah, another thing, if you are an art student, please do keep in mind that you will need to write captions for each of your portfolio pieces, and those are approximately 100 words. So depending on the number of pieces that you have, you will have to write captions. And yes, my captions were approximately 100 to 150 words. per piece. I know it sounds insane to write that for like 15 different pieces, but trust me, you will beg for more words. Right, you have to understand that you use these essays to tell the college why you're fit for them, why they should accept you as a student. They don't know you. You are just another applicant to them. They receive hundreds and hundreds of applications every year, and the only thing they know so far about you is your portfolio work. But the thing is, anyone can build up their skills to create a good portfolio. It's not, and people pay other people to create their portfolio. It's just a thing, right? Like, that industry is huge, so anyone can do that. So why are you special? Why should they accept you? That is the question you are answering, that is in their minds. No pressure. Okay, let's start with the Common App essay, because no matter who you are, whether you're an art student or not, you will have to write this. As art students, it depends on which university you apply to. With that particular essay, you will be provided with a prompt. There's a list of 5 or 6 prompts that you get. You have to pick one and answer it. Usually the last prompt is just pick any topic and do an essay on that. Every time when you write a Common App essay, not every time, you're not gonna have many times where you write a Common App essay. When you write a Common App essay, I would like you to think of it as an English essay that you're submitting to your teacher. So your grammar and your vocabulary should be pretty good. Do keep that in mind. But also, and also get checked by multiple people. Your English teacher would be preferable. If you have two, then both of them. Also, like your college counselor, if you have one, though they usually know what the colleges want from the essays, so they're pretty good people to get a check from as well. I recommend that you relate any prompt that you choose to a personal experience that you have had in your life. This experience should usually show personal growth in some capacity, whether it's in skill or it's in personality, in thought processes, anything. It should just show personal growth in some capacity or the other. You should have learned something from that experience. That's what they are looking for. Basically, they should see that you're a growing individual and that you can learn from your mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. That's what makes us human. But if you can say that, okay, I learned from that mistake and I grew from that mistake, that's what they want to see. Because that's what college is all about. The other essays that I wrote for individual colleges, wait, let me put this in a way where I'm not constantly looking down. I wrote something that our colleges call an artist statement. Side note, this is not an art. If you look up an artist statement on Google, this is not the artist statement that they want. What Google will tell you is an artist statement is something an artist writes when they have a gallery show or something to explain each piece, their motivations, their inspirations, their process, all of that. That's what a general artist statement is. Now, what the colleges mean by an artist statement is kind of like the UCAS Personal statement, where basically you're just talking about yourself and you as an artist and why they should accept you in school. The way I went about it was, I wrote about how and why I was passionate about art, and then I narrowed it down to how and why I was passionate about fashion, and then what have I done to reach where I am now and why I want to attend that particular school. And then I attached each of these points to a personal memory. I wrote about how I loved art and colors since I was a child. Even that's what I told my teachers. And then I wrote about how my grandfather inspired me to get into fashion, and that's why I'm going into fashion today, and that's why I'm so passionate about it. In fact, in the UCAS Personal statement, this is not true for the US statements, because those are only 500 words, so they're quite short. But in the UCAS Personal statement, I even wrote about what my motivations are for when I'm in the fashion industry. What motivates me to design. I then also wrote about how I did art and design at the A level, which was quite hard, as well as summer school in Parsons and doing well in that, as well as a fashion design internship with the designer Adi Singh. That's basically what I wrote in my essay, just the gist of it. And I ended with why so-and-so school would be perfect for me. Why did I want to attend Parsons or SAIC or MICA or CCA or whatever. This is a piece of advice that I gave one of my friends who is right now in London with me, and he's applying for internships to banks. I told him that he wrote an essay where he's bragging about his achievements and what he thinks the bank's values are and what they have achieved as a bank and what he wants to achieve with them, you know. Everyone writes that. There's nothing that... I told him this to his face, and I think he'd be okay with me mentioning it. Yeah, it's not like I mentioned his name or anything. But basically, I told him that everyone writes that. There's nothing special about your essay. So as a bank, if I was reading this essay, I would reject you. So, yeah. I said in the sea of people applying for this particular internship, why are you special? Why should they pick you? You have to stand out to them. In my essays, I wrote about my motivations and me as a person rather than the college and its values and its star students and so on. They already know all that. They don't need you to remind them, right? Like, and there's also the reason that it's like the things that you've mentioned is the reason you're applying to them. And if those things weren't true, then you wouldn't apply to them. You do not need to reinforce that to them. They already know it. While of course keeping in mind that you also still need to be humble about what you're saying. Talk about your own achievements, your own motivations, talk about yourself, but be humble while doing it. It's very easy to talk about yourself and sound conceited, and you don't want that to happen. I'll tell you something. This is a story. I had gone out with my uncle once, and we were just talking. This was like 2-3 years ago, and we were just talking, and he was telling me like a story where when he was in college, he was in the US, and he had to apply for a scholarship. And basically, to apply for the scholarship, you had to write an essay which they would then review and give the scholarship to whoever they thought was best. So in the essay's prompt was, why should the scholarship go to you? His answer in the essay was that he didn't know why it should go to him. Now, I agree with this, and the reason is this. Everyone at the school, at the college, everyone there deserves to be there. Everyone has achieved something or the other that's special, and that's why the college has given them admission in the first place, right? And all the students meet a certain criteria, and that's the only reason they're there. So there is actually nothing special about you as a student in that college compared to all the people in your class. There really isn't. I know this may hurt some people to hear, but there isn't. And so his essay makes complete sense because there was nothing special about him compared to the rest of the people there. And instead of bragging about what he has achieved and so on and so forth, which is probably what everybody did, he just wrote, I don't know why you should give me the scholarship. And he got the scholarship because that was a different essay. Usually a person would try to sell themselves and say, I've achieved so on and so forth, I will continue to achieve so on and so forth, and that's why I should get the scholarship because I'm so fucking good. But at the end of the day, compared to everyone there, you're just the same as them. You're mediocre in that crowd of students. But his essay stood out because he didn't brag, he didn't talk about himself. He just said, I don't know why you should give me the scholarship. Of course, I haven't read his essay. He didn't have a draft on him, obviously. But basically, what I'm trying to tell you is you need to stand out. You have to also keep in mind, though, that you have a set word count. For the art of statements, it was 500 words. For each caption, it was, I think, 150 words. For the UCAS Personal statement, I think it's 1,000 words, I'm not sure. But basically, you have a set word count that you need to meet, and you can't go beyond it. The application will literally cut off your words after you reach the limit, so you can't go beyond it. So be concise while covering everything that you need to write. Don't use too much. It's nice to like look up new words and learn vocabulary and whatever and use it, but don't use too much flowery language. It shouldn't be that if I come up to you, if you give me your application and I see it and I'm totally impressed by your English, and then if I meet you as a student and I ask you, what does this word mean? You're not able to answer me. That's never good. That just makes you look fake and weird. And that will probably immediately get you fired. Sorry, not fired. Rejected. For the Parsons challenge, now this is again very specific to students applying to Parsons, art and design students applying to Parsons. So for the Parsons challenge, you have to explain why you chose the piece that you chose to take forward. Describe how you took it further. It's 500 words of writing about these 3 pieces of artwork, so use it to the fullest. In this one, don't try to be too concise and not describe it fully. You need to. Please do. They want to know. That's why they've given you an extra 500 words to do it. And the same thing that I said about English earlier, about your English grammar, vocabulary, all that, it applies to all the tips that I'm giving you for each and every essay, so just keep that in mind. After looking at your portfolio and Parsons Challenge artworks, they will already have drawn their own conclusions about the work that you have done. However, it is up to you to explain your thought process and feelings about what you have made. It is your art. Nobody knows it better than you do. Now, portfolio captions. As an art student, you will have to write a mini description about each of your pieces. There's a so to the US universities, you apply through Slide.Room. That's where your portfolio goes up. And next to that, there's this spot for the name of the artwork. Some colleges have the medium and the surface, some don't. And then you have a little space for a description of your artwork. Keep in mind that this is like a presentation, except you will not be there to actually present. If I look at someone's painting, I will make my own notes about what I think, how I feel, so on and so forth. It is your job to either reinforce them or change my opinions completely. Sometimes I may look at a piece of artwork and think, oh my god, this is shit. But then if the explanation and the conceptualization is good enough and the painting fits whatever the student has said, I will be inclined to think, okay, this person knows what they're doing. You have very little space to do this, so do not waste your words or meander. It's not worth it. Use the full 150, whatever the limit is. Use it completely to your advantage. These are a couple of end notes because I'm practically done now. In general, keep in mind that you should have as many people as possible read your work and correct it, especially English teachers and college counselors. Those guys, so English teachers will correct your grammar and your vocabulary and make your structure better. College counselors will tell you if you've missed the mark or you've hit it, because they know what the colleges want. Yeah, and I would like to repeat what I said. Use good vocabulary and grammar, but don't make it such that if you saw the word again, you would not know what it means. Okay, and that's it for this video. I hope this helps you in some capacity. I did get quite a few people asking me for this video who saw my portfolio video, so I hope this helped you. I hope you liked it. Again, if you did, subscribe, like, comment, whatever down below, and yeah, stick around for more videos because I do a bunch of these. Bye.